Hi, this is Mac with PriceActionTradingSystem.com, and this is Tuesday, April the 10th. This will be our chart lesson for today. Um, I kind of backed out here to give you the big picture to see what I'm looking at here. Okay, sorry, I had a little interruption there, but let's get back. I just wanted you to see the big picture here. We had a nice downtrend in channel, a really nice downtrend, and you can see, just give you an idea, as you can see, every pullback today either made a double top or a lower high, and that's what you want to see, and that's what you want to try to do to get on with the trend. And you can see if you just waited on the ones that came back to the trend line, there were 1, 2, 3, 4 nice trades, and all of them were great trades that would have netted you a lot of money, especially on runners. And these are the kind of days where you definitely want to try to hang on to runners. When it's choppy like this up here all day, that's when you look to exit near the highs and the lows. But when you get a trend like this, you got to try to get on board with it and hang on. And so this is when I really suggest holding on to runners and give them a little, and if you need to, even give them a little extra room when we're trending down like this, especially on the key entry points, which are along the trend lines and probably even at the EMAs. And but you see, the trend lines are the ones that generally work pretty good, and most of these would have caught a runner here. This one probably wouldn't have. Most of these others would have caught a nice runner, and even this one right here, and now looks like this one probably wouldn't. You could have got a couple of 3 points out of this, but that would have been all. But try to hang on to those runners at the very least. Just tighten your stop above the bar each time, and you can see on this trade, if you'd have done that, you would have got stopped out way down here. That's probably about a 5 or 6 point move right there, so that would have been great. But this is the big picture. It was a downtrend, a nice trend channel, and you can see once we finally hit the low here, we still had a hard time correcting back to the trend line, but it eventually happened. And then we had another little sell-off here. And there's a couple ways you might have had your trend line like this, and there would have been nothing wrong with that, but you definitely should have drawn the steeper one as soon as you got the chance. And really, one thing I usually look at is we were really in a trading range until here. This is where the real downtrend started. You can see prices were just kind of overlapping and in a trading range left over from Friday afternoon until right here, and this is where the downtrend really started. So that's where the trend line really started for the day. And a lot of times you'll usually get your trend line off the first 2 swings of the overnight, but sometimes it'll be the first 2 swings after the 8:30 open, and that was pretty much this right here. So, but anyway, let's back out here and look at a little closer, a little bigger picture, so you can see more details. And let's just talk about each trade, and then we'll wrap this up. I'm trying to get these chart lessons where they're not much more than 10 minutes or so. I always say that and I always go 20 minutes, but this is pretty straightforward today, so hopefully we'll get through this fairly quickly. There was actually an entry here right after they opened, and if you took this, nothing wrong with that. It's a failed break higher with 2 tries to go higher, one here and one here. And so if you went short right there, there was nothing wrong with that, because it was a nice trap, and it was a nice trap out of this little congestion area here too. And I didn't mark it because it was it was early in the morning and the trend had been up. So if you didn't take that one, that's okay, but it was a good setup. It fits our trading range, our trading rules. So if you took that one, good job of spotting it and great trade. But this was a definite nice entry right here. You got your first leg back, then you got a little 2-legged correction back to test the resistance area, the EMA, and the trend line. So you got a lot of resistance at your back right there, and you've already got one leg, so we're looking for another leg, and it was off to the races here. And this is a nice trap. Prices broke higher, then reversed and closed on the low, so you could have gone short right there, expecting prices to at least probably come back down here and test this double bottom. And you see we got a little hesitation there on a breakout pullback short, and we continue to go lower. It was really spotty or iffy trying to enter right in here after this 2 legs down and this big move down to a new low, especially with all the overlap. This is a breakout pullback short, but it's just not a really good one, so I didn't mark any of this. We needed some more correction, and here was your first correction. And we really had another double top right here, a couple of legs up. The setup right here on this second entry short was not real good, with all overlapping bars. We didn't really have any show of bearishness yet, but here's your first show of bearishness. Then we tried to go higher again, and you made a double top, and then you had a bounce right off the trend line. So going short right there is a good trade, and you can see it was on down here. So that's kind of what I look for. A lot of times people say, why didn't you take that second entry short there? Well, the main reason is there's no, let me make this bigger where you can see. As you can see, those are all bullish bars, and then this is just acceptance of prices, these little dojis and stuff right in here. There's no real show of bearishness yet. There's the first real sign of bearishness, and you can see then we tried to go higher again and create that double top, and then you got a nice entry short. So what you're trying to do is wait till you've got a show of bearishness in your area or in your direction, and then it's okay to go short. So here again we had another two-legged pullback to the EMA, and that's close enough to the trend line to be a trend line touch. The market's looking really weak right now, and you're probably looking for a leg that looks similar to that. And so we were looking for prices to come down into here. At the very least, you should have probably measured it like this right here, and then came over here and measured it. And again, you still get kind of the same area. But we were looking for a target of at least in here if this was going to be the first leg and this was a two-legged correction. So, but this, again, you got this two-legged pullback. You got your first real sign of bearishness in your first break lower right there, and then prices tried to go higher again and then closed and reversed. So going short below this bar, it was really a little too late. This bar is just so big right here, so if you didn't get short right up in here, you needed to try to get short somewhere in the middle of this bar, and you might or might not have gotten short there. And but this is also a breakout pullback short, because this is kind of a double bottom right across here. Let me show you. If you put your line across here, you got a little bit of double bottom. We broke lower, so this is a breakout pullback short as well right here. And then this too is a breakout pullback short, because we had those matching lows right there. Prices broke lower, but better than that, this is a two-legged pullback to the EMA with a bearish bar to go short below right there. And then this one really was off to the races. And again, it's at a key entry point. You got the EMA at your back, you got the trend line at your back, and you got two legs back up. You've also really got a little double top right across here with a lot of matching highs, and when it's a failed break above that. So there were multiple reasons to be thinking short right there. So that's another great short. And then this one, I was still watching. I was done trading by now, but I was still watching prices, and I contemplated taking this trade, talked myself out of it, but looking back at it, there's nothing wrong with this trade at all. It's a double top during a pullback to the EMA. It's a second entry short. Here's your new low, your first entry, your pullback, your second entry, and you got that bearish bar right there. So going short right there was fine, and you can see it would have been another great trade. And there was another clue too, was we hadn't yet gotten to the lower trend line, and all I did was clone that line or copy that line right there and drag it down, and usually it's going to be down here on this low side somewhere. So it could have been either there, either that works, but I believe it was probably right there, and that got you your bounce off the low, and you notice we didn't get there here, and we continued on lower. So anyway, once you got down here and you didn't have any more room left, there was for this line, there was a good chance that we were now definitely at the low end of the channel, and so you're going to expect another correction. But again, we got a double top, and this is an obvious downtrend, strong downtrend, so we're looking for patterns and reasons to get on with the trend. And what are our reasons? Double tops. Since the trend is down, we're looking for double tops, pullbacks to the EMA trend line, nice two-legged moves with a reversal bar in our direction, that kind of stuff. Breakout pullback shorts. And so we're looking for reasons to get short, and here we are. We got another double top with a nice reversal bar right at the EMA, and also this is a pullback test of this breakout right here. You can see that right there. That's just a double top coming back and testing that. So that's another great place to get short, another easy scalp. You wouldn't have got a runner off of that one, but all the same, it's still a great scalp. And then you got another move back to the EMA. This one was much more risky. You got a couple of overlapping bars. It is really kind of a breakout pullback short from this little double bottom right across here, this kind of area, this congestion right here. So if you took it and saw it, I'm not going to ding you for it, because it does fit the rules, but it's a weak setup, especially because we'd come off this side of the trend channel line. I was really expecting prices to come back up and test this area right in here, or maybe come a little higher on a failed break higher, but we went on lower all the same, and we finally got the pullback right here. So that we just really had a weak market today. And this is a second entry short. You got one leg pullback, second leg right off the trend line. You could have gone short below that bar or this bar. If you waited to down here, you had a little bit of a little bit of a correction bouncing off that EMA right there, but all the same it continued lower, and you probably didn't get a runner off this one either unless you gave it a little extra room. But on a day like this, I'm all for giving your runners a little extra room, especially if you've already made some good money. So you had two legs down, and then we had this other bounce off actually you had a bounce here and a bounce here off the trend line, and there's no break yet, so there's nothing wrong with going short off either one of those either. This one's not real good because there's a lot of overlapping bars, but this is a pretty good setup right here. I didn't mark it because it's not a second entry. It's not a clear breakout pullback short, other than maybe this little congestion area right here. So I didn't mark it, but all the same, if you took it, it was not a bad setup. And the same thing right here. This is breakout pullback short coming off the EMA, but we've had a pretty good move, and we're way away from the EMA by the time we get down here. So and then we kind of went into this little trading range here. There's your lows, and your highs are up here in this area. But by this time it was well after 2 o'clock, so I didn't mark anything after this point. But that was pretty much it for the day, and hopefully you easily recognize this downtrending channel, and that this was a downtrend day, and I hope you made some good money today. It was a nice trading day. We haven't had a lot of these lately, so when we get one, you want to try to take full advantage of it, and maybe one day we'll get a lot of these movements. I mean, obviously it's down, which a lot of people don't like to go short, but that's why we trade futures, because we can just as easily go long or short, and we're not hampered by trying to always be long or whatever. So anyway, hopefully you had a good day, and we'll do it again tomorrow. This is Mac with PriceActionTradingSystem.com, and we'll see you next time.